All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another video. We're going to be talking about One Piece chapter 1127. This chapter that came out, I've already made a few videos on it, and a week's gone by since, and the chapter's been out. We've had time to digest it. We're going to go over it, and then we're going to talk about spoilers for the newest chapter, 1128, because that just came out too. So buckle up and get ready for today's video because it's going to be a long one and we're going to be going over a lot of different things. So the newest cover story came out and Yamato is with Dogstorm. After some thought, I think the kidnapper is going to be someone important. I think the kidnapper is going to play some kind of role in Yamato's future actions with Wano. So we're starting the chapter strong with Nami waking up in this town. And this town looks like a bunch of giants. They're all in Viking gear and it looks like a Lego town. There's people talking, there's a tree that's referenced, there's this people talking about the sun god. And, you know, people have been speculating that this is the work of the sun god. If the fire spreads to the Yggdrasil tree, then they're going to report it to the sun god, and people were thinking that the sun god is probably Loki, or a person who has taken up that nickname, pretended to be the sun god and be these people's savior, like we've seen in previous chapters. Moving on here. So we're cutting over to the castle, and we find Nami in peril from all of these. She is so, she's freaking out and she's scared of all these animals. They're so cute though. This one is some kind of big porcupine. Yeah, I mean, this thing is looking spiky and scary. When Usopp was running with Nami away from the cat, they were talking about the green fairy that they drank, the absinthe, and that is still likely making them hallucinate. And Usopp even says, your hallucinations can't hurt me. I mean, yeah, I mean, so they're clearly having some kind of visual nightmare just because of the hallucinations. So they are fighting this lion, and then Sanji, Luffy, and Zoro come out of nowhere, but we look back at these attacks, and I didn't even catch it the first time around reading it, but Sanji is using a different move. He says Ifrit Jambe, and he ends up using more of a top-down move. He looks like he's just doing a different move. Luffy says Gear 4 Gum Gum Elephant Whip, and it doesn't really look like he's in Gear 4th, and so, yeah, he's either just not sure what he's saying, or maybe he's still hallucinating, maybe he's in disguise, maybe it's someone else who's being Luffy. Thankfully, Zoro doesn't mess up any of his attacks. But it looks like he might have done something different too. I mean, we just don't know. Luffy, after defeating the cat, is not even wanting any food. I mean, which we've never seen in the series. We've seen a difference in weapons from the panels on the same screen that Luffy's on. There's a weapon on his back that's switching to a different weapon on the same page. Same with Sanji. Basically, the main theories from the last chapter have been that they're still in a hallucination, that they're not actually where they're supposed to be. They might not even be on Elbaf. So I have some special brand new incoming news here. These are the brief spoilers for chapter 1128, and it leaves right where we left off. And the title of this chapter is RPG, and we see the Straw Hats on the cover spread in brooms and fighting a dragon, and they look like they're in Harry Potter. The Straw Hat crew arrives at what they believe to be a giant city, but only to discover that the residents aren't giants. So from kind of what people were thinking before, it's not actually Elbaf or like Land of the Giants. It's probably a country in Warland, which is probably on the outskirts of Elbaf, but it's not exactly Elbaf. And we know how big the One Piece world is. I mean, Elbaf is going to be massive. 100%. It's going to be huge, both in what it brings to the story and just straight up landmass. Like, you can't tell me that the giants are living on small islands. This is going to take a week or two at least in the One Piece timeline. So they're just regular humans in this town, and it says that the entire kingdom is revealed to be an illusion. It's just a toy box inside of a massive room. And the giant who created this toy box is known as the Sun God. So maybe this is Loki. This is all new to me. I'm just reading this as I'm saying it and narrating my thoughts as it's going. So the next spoiler is that the Straw Hat crew smashes through a wall only to find Chopper outside. The Sun God enters the room, who is this enormous giant with a deer skull on top of his head, only to find that the Straw Hat crew is in the middle of their escape attempt. So the Straw Hats are trying to escape this kingdom, but they just got caught by the Sun God with this deer skull as a helmet. Chopper ends with the Straw Hat crew racing away on a giant cat from that previous chapter, while the Sun God charges after them in a hot pursuit. There's no break. Let's go. So yeah, I'm really, really excited to see what the Sun God looks like. They didn't describe him at all other than just what he had on his head and that he was a giant. He said it was an enormous giant. I mean, this could be maybe even an ancient giant. This could be some adult full-size giant that is bigger. Maybe there's different variations or different bloodlines that have different sizes, like ores that we've seen in the show. And we'll just have to see. We'll see if maybe Loki has the royal blood and that's making him giant. I mean, we've already seen Shirahoshi and the royal kingdom, the Ryuga kingdom in Fishman Island, and we've seen Neptune and how big he was. I mean, maybe size runs in these family. I mean, size is clearly this not fully fledged out idea that Oda has put into the world of One Piece. And so this chapter is giving me vibes that we're gonna be getting some deer lore. I mean, he has a deer skull on his head. Chopper was separated, definitely emphasized. I mean, there has to be some crazy connection being made between Chopper and the ancient kingdom, or Chopper and his fruit and what that means. Like, there has to be some explanation for this sooner or later. I think we'll end it on that. We're going to end it on that, and I will be returning with another video when the chapter comes out and when we get pages and I can flash some of them on screen. So if you liked the video, hit that like button, comment something, and give us a little sub.